everyone, this is Gene from NYC, and oh god, I am tired. I just wanted to just make a little update video, just bring you guys up to speed on what's been going on in my life and why I haven't made many videos. I swear, there's a reason why I chose Street Fighter for this one. I was looking actually for my original Genesis copy, but I have like a lot of old school 90s Sega Genesis stuff, and even an actual Sega Genesis or two, but it's literally buried under like, piles of, just garbage, and it's like warded away. It's like, that like little corner of the room where you just, store stuff and you forget it for like 20 years. And then when you need it, you're like, oh, I gotta move all that. But anyway, I'm eventually gonna dig up that stuff. Maybe one of these days I'll do a, gaming through the 90s with Gene. Me and my brother were, especially me, were big Sega kids, Genesis kids. We had access to the NES and even the Super NES because our cousin was a gamer. Not as much as we were, but my cousin was a gamer growing up. My uncle was a gamer growing up. In fact, the copy of Streets of Rage 2 that we have and played growing up actually came from my uncle. Sadly, my uncle passed away a few years ago, but I'll always think of him fondly because of my youth. Unfortunately, my relations between my extended family kind of soured over the years as we got older. I think if you ever had a large but dysfunctional family, or you come from a large dysfunctional family, you probably understand what that's like, right? Old generational grudges sort of bleeding into, the new generation. So there's been a bit of that. There's, of course, my ill family member who is still ill but is now home, and we are not talking at the moment because we kind of got into a very loud argument. So we're just not speaking at the moment, which is fine by me, quite honestly. We don't exactly get along. But anyway, yeah, so I've just been collecting L's left and right these last 2 weeks. I mean, this month honestly has just kicked me around, and especially these past 2 weeks have just kicked me around from sixth place to Sunday. It's like getting hit with the raging demon. Or that I wouldn't call it a sucker punch, but remember the intro to like the Street Fighter 2 game, right? Street Fighter 2 or Street Fighter 2 Dash, right? And it has those two guys, sort of sizing each other up, and then one of them just straight punches the other dude in the face. That's how I feel. That's what life has been doing to me, metaphorically speaking. Just hitting me with it's the beat down of 1,000 blows, right? Just 1,000 blows at lightning speed all at once. And I've just been down for the count for the past few days. If I haven't been dealing with trying to help my family member and their medical issues and spending lots of money, in transportation and whatnot, trying to help them out, I've been sleeping. So I've got to play catch up with a lot of things. I got to play catch up with my videos. I actually do have some comic reviews planned. I know that I haven't done a comic review in a bit, and I do plan to get back to that. But I still, I've got that. I've got a list of comics that I need to catch up on. There's of course more. The Vic M thing just keeps growing and growing and growing, and there's a lot of stuff that I want to address there. But that's another video. Though I must admit that I am happy to hear that that he has now lawyered up, which is good. And I am proud to say myself that I did donate a little bit of money to Rikita Law's GoFundMe to help Vic out with his legal expenses, right? So if you don't know about that, Rikita Law has it on his channel, on one of his videos, and there are other videos like Yellow Flash and others who are sharing it. Rikita, I think his first name is Nick. His last name is Rikita. He's an attorney, I think, in Massachusetts, and he heard about the Vic thing, and he decided that this is the way that he's helping out. And Vic did confirm on Twitter that he has indeed approved of Rikita doing this, but he's made it clear that he's not going to get any of the money personally. That the money is just to cover his legal fees, and if there's any money left after the legal fees are paid, that the excess is to go to I believe it's domestic violence and abuse shelters that are associated with the Salvation Army. I know some people on the Kick Vic side have been trying to shame Vic for that, saying that the Salvation Army is anti LGBTQ and all that stuff. I haven't seen proof that the Salvation Army is. I think the closest thing to it is that I think it's connected to a church organization or something to that effect. I think it started with the Protestant church, something to that effect. But anyhow, right, that's only if there's any money left after Vic's legal fees are paid. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, I can't say I know much about the Salvation Army, right? But I'm not going to automatically believe that they're anti-LGBTQ, right? Just because Mars Girl or some other person on the Kick Vic side, especially on the Kick Vic side, says it's so, right? I would say, research. But anyway, so there's that. Hopefully next week I can rebound. I also, unfortunately, am going to be a bit delayed. I was going to try to do a reading review of Jawbreakers. If you saw my previous video, I happily declared that I got Jawbreakers. And then I lost Jawbreakers on Wednesday. I went to go see my family member in the hospital. We got into an argument. I went somewhere to eat and cool off. I left the dang book there by accident. I call up 2 days later. And of course they tell me that they don't have it. I have to admit, my suspicion is that someone there has it. They just don't want to give it back to me. That's the feeling that I get. That's the impression that I get. So, the post office giveth, and then Jean loseth away. Like I said, I've been taking L's like a mother this month. But fortunately, I was able to reach out to Zach again, plead my case, and here's to hoping that he'll send me a replacement. He responded to my email almost immediately, which really was a surprising. I wasn't expecting to get a response, all that soon. And then he asked me for my address, and I gave him my address. So hopefully, it'll come in soon, right? I'm willing to wait. I mean, I waited 6 months, right? I waited six months because Zach said that it was supposed to be done in August, and then of course, everything went sideways. And if you just think about when I donated, I think I bought the $25 book back in April, so it's almost been a year. But I'm willing to wait. What's another few days, especially to have it in my hands and to finally bring it home and not lose it again. So that's hopefully an issue that will be resolved soon enough, and then I can do my reviews. I was skimming through it a bit. The art in Jawbreakers is beautiful. It's 3 different art styles. The main one, of course, Lost Souls. John Malin did that, and very, smooth, sharp, clean lines. I love art like that. Malin's art is amazing. The EVS cover with the giant ape is amazing. Then there's because it's, if you don't know, it's 3 stories. It starts out with Lost Souls. That's the first story. The second story is the first Jawbreakers, which is remastered. Which I actually did think. I know Zach, kind of roasted himself and said he didn't think it was all that good. I honestly thought the first Jawbreakers was good. I thought that it had potential, right? There were a few scenes, like there's this one scene where I think it's Silkworm and his daughter are kind of having a conversation behind a closed door, and like you just see their movements mirroring each other, and that always just touched me so deeply. So that story is remastered. It looks good. The art of the of the remaster of Jawbreakers, which is the second story, is very 90s. Right? I am like pure, action, spy action comic, 90s anti-hero trash. Okay, like one of my favorite comic runs is the 1992, I think 92, 93 to like 95 Silver Sable run. So when I say I'm like pure 90s trash, I mean it. But anyway, so the art is very 1990s, right? It's everybody's got big proportions, and then everybody's very posy, and just all that cheesy gooey 90s goodness, right? And then there's the art for the third story, which is Jawbreakers Book 2. Which from what I was reading, again, I was just skimming through it. Book 2 was actually turning out to be my favorite story thus far, mainly because there's actually a lot of the dialogue is actually very sharp. The dialogue is very sharp. People's voices sound natural, and what I like about Book 2, and again, this is just skimming through it. This was so this is like first impressions. What I like about Book 2 is that there's a lot of moments where the dialogue allows you to see into the soul of the character, right? Get a sense of who they are, what they fear, what they love, what their morals are. You start getting a sense of them as characters, right? I gotta say, for the other two stories, which are not bad, which are by no means bad, I'm not trying to say that they're bad stories, but for the first two stories, the Jawbreakers come across to me as kind of like it's kind of like action toys in a sense. It's like, the Cuffs is super strong, and Silkworm can do this, and Hell Priest is the sniper, and he's blind, and they have all these cool powers, but I wasn't really getting a sense of who they were as people, right? It just felt like watching a bunch of cool toys on a screen or on TV, right? I think we've all seen those type of shows or those type of comics where it's all action and it's cool and it's fun, but it's not too deep on the character development. Book 2 is actually very much about character development. I think from what I was skimming, that it's probably the best one when it comes to character development. But again, that's just my opinion, and that's not to dog or disrespect the other books. I just think that when it comes to character development and the dialogue really allowing you to see into the soul of each character, that the dialogue in Book 2 did that the best. So that so far, from the brief skim I did, is turning out to be my favorite Jawbreaker story thus far, and I'm really hoping that Zach, will expand the Jawbreakers universe in time. All right, so is there anything else? I really can't think of anything else, at least not at the moment, that I want to go over. It's almost about 14 minutes at the moment, so I think that's it. I'll probably make a few more videos over the weekend. Start trying to just get back into it. Again, do some comic reviews, cover some of this Vic stuff, cover some other things. I think over the weekend I'm gonna do a video about the Captain Marvel. If you don't know, there was an actual what would you call it? I'll just say a press event, right? Or movie event. I don't quite know what the proper term is, but I would say movie event about Goose the cat, right? And I honestly thought this was just a joke, but I saw it on SC Reviews channel. There's actually a video, and it looks legit. A video from Marvel Studios, right, to promote this movie, to promote the Captain Marvel movie. And the video is literally nearly an hour of just Goose. Of Goose the cat. That's it. Literally, Goose just existing. It's not even one of those, funny pet videos where, they put in sound or they put in graphics or they put in text, right, to make you believe that you're sort of, hearing the dog's thought or the cat's thoughts or whatever. It is literally just Goose the cat existing, being a cat. I mean, literally. Let me... RJ, get in here. RJ, come here. Come here. Okay, well, one second. Okay. You see RJ? You see him here? You see how he's doing absolutely nothing but just existing as a cat? Imagine this for an hour. Imagine this just recording him, just existing, being a cat for an hour. That is the Goose event for Captain Marvel. They spent an hour taping a cat, being a cat. And the crazy thing is, this thing is getting views. This thing is getting attention. Right? People can hardly sit through, 10 minutes of, Brie Larson talking, but they will sit there gladly and watch a cat simply exist for nearly an hour. I know the internet is for cats and for a few other things, but I know it's for cats. But this is ridiculous. But anyway, this video is now nearly 17 minutes long, so I think I'll stop here. Alright, so hope everybody has a nice Friday evening. Stay warm or stay cool wherever the heck you are. Be safe, be happy, make some more videos over the weekend. Night, night.